So, UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Chimaev was announced recently. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. I know this. It's a big thing, and I'm a little bit late to it. But I kind of wanted to wait a bit because I heard about the Pavlovich Volkov thing about how they didn't even know they were supposed to be fighting, and I just wanted to wait a bit, see if anything happens, check Tapology, see if anything gets canceled, and just check to see if any more fights get added. And a couple more got added. As you can see, these two got added. Dalby Fakhretdinov, great matchup, and Kyung Ho Khan versus Muin Gafarov, great matchup. I like it. I like all of these. So, oh my god, I'm sorry, I burped. Jesus Christ. I'm going to be going through, and I'm going to be giving my opinions. First off, let me give my opinion on the card. Whittaker Chimaev. One second, my mouse. Whittaker Chimaev. Great matchup. Fucking fantastic matchup. Great matchup. Volkov Pavlovich. Great matchup. Although this shows that Cyril Gahn is ducking contenders because he should be fighting Pavlovich, and he's not. But regardless, Pavlovich Volkov is a great matchup. Pavlovich, coming off that loss to Aspinall, but still, he's 6-2 in the UFC. Literally, he's 6-1 in his last 7. He still was on a 6-fight and first round knockout streak. Can't take that away from him. And Volkov, he's on a 3-fight win streak. He's beaten, I think it's... Let me see if I can remember this correctly. I'm pretty sure I think it's either Rosenstrike. I think it's Rosenstrike, Romanov, and Tuvasa, or Tabora, Romanov, Tuvasa. Let's look really quick. Rosenstrike, yeah. It was Rosenstrike. And honestly, I think this is a great match. I think these are all great matchups. I like all of these, dude. I fuck with all of these, bro. I fucking hate these stupid fucking ads popping up, bro. I think these are all really good fights. Nasrat Haqparast, Jared Gordon. That's a good prelim fight. I don't care what you say. That's on. If Dalby Fakhretdinov is on the prelims, Nasrat Haqparast, Jared Gordon is also going to be on the prelims. But I think it's a really good fight too. Not a bad fight. What, Nasrat Haqparast coming off back-to-back 3 wins in a row. He has 3 wins in a row now. Jared Gordon. He had a great win against Marco Madsen. Nope, can't knock him for that. Knocked him out in the first round in MSG. He kind of made a name for himself with that knockout. People kind of know him. Especially, people kind of know him for beating Paddy Pimblett, even though he lost that fight. They know him because they know it was a robbery. People know him for what else? Kind of the knockouts. Jared Gordon has a decent name. Nasrat Haqparast is a UAE fighter. He's Moroccan, but I think he reps UAE now, or something Middle Eastern. I think it is like Saudi Arabia. But regardless, good matchup. Johnny Walker, Volkan Ozdemir. I was wondering when I was going to see Ozdemir come back. I like this matchup. Ozdemir coming off that great win over Bogdan Guskov. And Bogdan Guskov now has a fight lined up with, what's his face? Ryan Spann. So if he can get a win over Ryan Spann, that win is going to age really well for Ozdemir since he knocked him. I think he subbed him in the first round. And Johnny Walker, he's coming off that loss to Magomed Ankalaev. This would be a good chance for him to bounce back. And then they could probably do Walker versus Blachowicz if he wins this. Shara Magomedov, Ihor Potieria. Great. It's a good matchup. It's good. Ihor Potieria, he was a light heavyweight, but he was really close to making 185 on 7 days notice while being a light heavyweight. And I respect that. Shara Magomedov, I think he's definitely going to be the faster striker, but then again, Potieria was able to win and drop Brychek on. Then again, Brychek was debuting. but he's able to win and drop him on like 6 days notice. I think it was like 4 days notice. He was able to drop him, outpace him, beat him, outrange him, outstrike him, and that was a weight class down, like less than a week's notice. I kind of want to see what he's gonna be able to do at middleweight, because one thing I was really scared of was his chin. It was his chin and his cardio, because at light heavyweight he gassed out against Rodolfo Bellato, but then again he kind of blew his load. No homo. And he was fighting Carlos Ulberg, who is a heavy hitter. But then again, at middleweight he fights another Polish power guy, and he tanks some good shots. So I think it's a good matchup. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad, and I think it's somewhat of an actual test for Magomedov, and maybe Potieria somehow gains the magical ability to have incredible takedowns, and he beats the shit out of Shara. Kelvin Gastelum, Daniel Rodriguez. Awesome matchup. I was wondering when D-Rod was going to come back. I like this matchup. This is a fun matchup. Fucking two great fighters. This will be a good fight for Kelvin Gastelum. Because, he had that fight against Sean Brady. Kind of... he got fucked. He got shit on. But, Kelvin Gastelum, he's a good striker. People like him because of his boxing, and he's kind of a dog. And I think Daniel Rodriguez is also another fighter, kind of built the same way, fights the same way. He has that dog too. So I think Gastelum versus D-Rod is a good fight. They both have that dog in them. And you know what? You can't hate that matchup. It's a good matchup. It's going to be a fun matchup, and both are going to bring it. Next, we got Muin Gafarov. What the? Oh my god, dude. My brain shut off for a second. Muin Gafarov. Kyung Ho Khan. I don't know why Muin Gafarov is having a fight. He's lost back-to-back fights. Both fights he was supposed to have in the UFC, he lost. And then I think he lost his Contender Series fight, too. Yeah. He fought in one championship. So who all has he lost to? What, John Lineker? He was supposed to fight Movzar? When? Oh my god, when was this supposed to be? Oh, it's supposed to be in UFC. Really? Okay. And I guess they re-signed him. So he's lost to what, John Lineker? Not a terrible win. It was, 5 years ago? Yeah, not a terrible win. He's beat Chad and he lost to Chad and Helliger. Not terrible. Chad and Helliger is kind of bounced back. He kind of saved his job, but then again, it is what it is. God damn, that's kind of shocking. He's beat some good opponents too. Herbert Souza? Damn, fucking who is this motherfucker? I'm getting off track. What, John Castaneda? Who just beat Kyung Ho Khan, and then Saeed Nurmagomedov. I mean, he hasn't lost to terrible opponents. So, I don't mind this matchup. But, I think at the end of the day, he's getting this fight because, it's in Saudi Arabia, and he has a surname that ends with V. So, it is what it is. But Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby, I love this matchup. Because, look, Nicholas Dalby has some underrated ass wins, dude. People shun his win. So look at this. Okay. Fucking get out of here, you fucking stupid Amazon ads. I'm not fucking giving you my address so you can send a drone to strike me whenever I talk shit about Obama. Okay, all jokes. Please don't kill me. Look. He has a win over Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos in 2015 when Zaleski dos Santos was... Oh my god, how old would he have been at this time? He would have been 25. He took Darren Till to a draw. And this was when Darren Till was still, had nuts on him. He still had a pair of nuts. So that's not a bad loss. who else? What else has happened? You know, he tore through these guys on Cage Warriors after he got cut. What 6-0, 9-5, 17-3? That's a good record to have. He beat Cowboy Oliveira, and then that does not age well. But he beat D-Rod. Look at this, he beat D-Rod. So far, we're seeing a win over Zaleski, a draw with Darren Till, a win over Alex Oliveira, and this is 5 years ago, so Oliveira's in his prime. This is a prime Alex Oliveira. This is a prime Cowboy Oliveira, so not shit. D-Rod? That Tim Means win looks kind of bad now, but, you know, at the end of the day, you can't hate on the guy. What, D-Rod, Alex Oliveira, Zaleski dos Santos, going up. You know, Claudio Silva and Warley Alves, not the best wins. But, you know, Muslim Salikov and Gabriel Bonfim. Muslim Salikov was 19-3 at the time. And Gabriel Bonfim, 15-0 at the time. This is a great matchup. And not only do I think it's a great matchup, I think it's a great matchup for Nicholas Dalby. A lot of people don't... If you see Nicholas Dalby fight, you wouldn't think this. He's 39. And Rinat Fakhretdinov showed in his last fight that he can get tired and he can gas out. And I think that's where Nicholas Dalby is going to excel. Because when Fakhretdinov is going to get tired, he's going to start to slow down, and that's when Nicholas Dalby is going to pick up the pace. He's a very pace-heavy fighter. So I think this is a great matchup of, can Rinat Fakhretdinov get back to his I'm going to finish you in one round ways like he did against Kevin Lee? And I know he hasn't really done that in the UFC, you know, overall, but, you know, against Kevin Lee, it's, you know, it's kind of hard to smoke Kevin Lee in a minute. You know, regardless that Kevin Lee was never the greatest, no one's ever smoked him in a minute like that. At least not to my knowledge. But Fakhretdinov Dalby, great matchup. And let's look at Rinat Fakhretdinov's win while we're here. Brian Battle and Kevin Lee. He was supposed to fight Michael Morales. And he beat Andreas... Who the fuck? Let's see how good has he done since then. I mean, what? Oh, well, you can't blame him. He's like one... What, he lost to Alex Pereira and Rinat Fakhretdinov? You cannot blame him for those losses. But then again, regardless, still not the best win. But the guy fucking... Brian Battle and Kevin Lee are really good wins. Especially after how good Brian Battle was looking in his last fight. Those are really good wins. And, you know, he's kind of had a lot of bums on his record. Let's be fair. But, you know, starting off fighting a 6-1 guy in your debut, I mean, hey, I want to take it back. Fights a 7-1 guy, he kind of lost again. And then he started, you know, towards the end, he started picking up the level of competition. 14-2, yeah, it was pretty decent, but 8-1 and 19-7. These are good fighters that he's beating. And I think this is a great matchup. I like this matchup. This card's shaping up really well. And I think it's just time for me to give my prediction and breakdown. And give me my predictions and my thoughts on why these persons are going to win. Whittaker Chimaev, I think I take Whittaker. Chimaev, I think Whittaker's going to be able to survive the early rounds against Chimaev. I think he has better movement. I think he has better striking. He has infinitely better cardio. And I think that as of right now, I think that Robert Whittaker is just the better fighter who has more of that drive. Khamzat Chimaev, I don't think he has that. Like, his goal in life was to be able to take his mother and his family and give them a better life and to also be a great fighter. He's achieved both of those. I think he's starting to lose the drive a bit. I mean, what he's like, yes, brother, I'm going to be undisputed champion. Oh, boy. I'm so excited to see the undisputed Twitter middleweight champion. No, no, not even the undisputed Twitter middleweight champion. He's gonna be the Twitter catchweight champion because he can't make weight ever. I mean, have you seen him right now? He looks fat right now. I don't think he's. Who knows? Maybe he puts in the work and he looks great, and he goes out there and he smokes Whittaker, and he brings his aura back. But as of right now, I'm taking Robert Whittaker. Volkov Pavlovich. I think Volkov. I think Volkov's height and I think his movement and how he's been looking recently, I think it's going to be enough to stop Sergey Pavlovich. Um, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to. And when I say stop Sergey Pavlovich, I don't mean knock out. I mean like he's going to be able to beat him. I think Volkov would beat him by decision. I think he'd be able to chew up the legs and poke him at range, and I think if he improves kind of like just like his overall boxing, then I think Volkov would be good. I think it'd be smart for him to kind of hide behind that shoulder, that lead shoulder, and just kind of like jab 1-2 at range, leg kick, and I think he could beat Pavlovich by a very clear unanimous decision. Nazareth hack press Jared Gordon. Here's the thing. I think both of them are kind of really underrated. But I'm going to go with Jared Gordon, honestly. I think the way he was looking against Bobby Green, he was forcing Green to come forward, and he was avoiding shots and then hitting with a good check hook. I think Jared Gordon can do that against hack press. He did look a little bit slow against Marco Madsen, and I thought up until that point he was losing to Madsen because he was kind of getting shoved up against the fence and just eating knees. But he did knock him out, and that is impressive. I think he's going to be able. I don't think he's going to knock out hack press, but I do think he will be able to avoid all of the real deadly shots of hack press, and I think he'll be able to go out there, and I think he'll be able to outpoint hack press to maybe a 29-28, 30-27 maybe, but probably a 29-28 decision against Nazareth hack press. That's what I believe. Johnny Walker, Volkan Ozdemir. I'm going to go with Johnny Walker. I think Johnny, this is all as of right now. Who knows? Some things might come out. The card might change. These might not be the same fights as of right now. But I think Johnny Walker could get it done. Because we saw how Volkan Ozdemir did against Yuri Prohaska. He struggled with that really awkward kind of like jumpy around style. And I think Johnny Walker's slowly been kind of doing more of that again. Against Ankalaev, he was being kind of awkward. Here's the thing: I'm always going to be suspect of his chin. He has an awkward chin, and by awkward I mean shit. And Volkan Ozdemir does have sharp strikes. He's smart not only to go around the guard, he's smart to like loop his shots like around your arms. So he'll like with a hook, he'll come and he'll like loop it. Like if you like try to like put your arm out and up and like hide behind it, kind of like your shoulder and arm, he's smart to like loop it up and around and back down onto your head. He did that against Guskov. I think so. There's a chance he does knock out Walker, but I just think he's gonna be long enough, and I feel like he will make the improvements needed, aka using a jab, to beat Volkan Ozdemir. Potieria Magomedov. I'm honestly gonna go with Potieria. Shar Magomedov didn't show much of a ground game. And by didn't show much of a ground game, I mean he got ragdolled by Bruno Silva. And Bruno Silva is just not a good grappler. I mean, like, he can do it, but, it's not his forte. And it's not where he excels. And I think Ihor Potieria, I think he's going to be a bigger, leaner, and stronger middleweight. And I think at middleweight he's going to be faster. He's going to hit harder because he won't be going up against these much bigger guys who can tank a lot of these harder shots. I think we're going to see more knockouts from him. I think he's going to look faster. I think he's going to look leaner. I think he's going to look stronger. And I think he'll be able to land something on Magomedov that maybe rocks him. And if he does that, I think he can take him down, and I think he can beat him up on the ground. And so yeah, I think I'll take Ihor Potierra maybe by like a late third round TKO via ground and pound or a 29-28 split decision. I see happening. I see the judges kind of wanting to get it in Shar Magomedov's favor. But yeah, that's my prediction for that. Daniel Rodriguez, Kelvin Gastelum. Dude, they're basically like the same person. They're honestly just like the same person. But honestly, D-Rod, I think D-Rod. Damn, dude. Fuck. I'm going to pick Daniel Rodriguez. I think in his last fight against Ian Gary, even though he got knocked out, he wasn't like... Dude, he ate a perfect head kick, and it didn't slump him out cold. He got TKO'd. He ate a perfect head kick, and it took like 5 seconds for him to like stumble and trip to the floor. So I think Daniel Rodriguez, he's going to be able to eat all the shots that Gastelum is going to be throwing at him. Who knows? Maybe it's like a... Maybe Gastelum fights him like the Leech fought D-Rod, and maybe he takes it by decision. But at the end of the day, I think Daniel Rodriguez... I think right now Daniel Rodriguez just is, I just think he has a... I think he's... I don't know why I can't speak right now, dude. I'm like retarded. I just think he has more to offer right now, and I think, I just feel like, he's been always a welterweight, and I think Kelvin Gastelum's been fighting these middleweights, and I just think Daniel Rodriguez is better. But who knows? I'm not saying it's gonna be, it's like completely like Daniel Rodriguez is better. He's gonna smoke him. Kelvin Gastelum could very well win. Muin Gaffarov versus Kyung Ho Khan. Let me look at Kyung Ho Khan's wins. I know he has wins. Let's see who has he beat. Oh fuck, he has a lot of fights in the UFC. Why do I feel like how come I just like feel like I haven't heard of him? Dude, I feel like so casual for this right now. Fuck. Christian Quiones, Batgero Dana, Brandon Davis. Who else? He went to it's a no contest. It's tragic. Probably like a drug thing. What is up with these Asian fighters? They'll always have like the worst records coming into the UFC, and then they'll just start winning out of nowhere. Like they'll go on he lost to Ronnie Yaya, and he went to a split decision with Ricardo Ramos, but I'm gonna go with Kyung Ho Khan. Simply put, I just think he's better. I don't want to dwell on this one too much because I'm not really too interested in this match right now. I'll probably watch fights later on both to see what's going on, but this one, Dalby versus Fakhretdinov, I'm going to go with Dalby. I think Dalby's going to be able to weather the early storm like he always does. He always weathers the early storm, and he just drowns people. Here's the thing. If I see Dalby win this, I want to see Dalby... Okay, if Dalby wins this, and Buckley wins his next fight, then I would have... Ooh, you know what? I think if Dalby wins this, I think you could do Dalby versus Magny as the co-main of a fight night. And then if Dalby beats that, then I think you do Dalby as the main event, because I want to see what he can do over 5 rounds. Because we've seen him drown people and just outpace him and break him in 3. That's what he did to Gabriel Bonfim. Bonfim was going hard those first 2 rounds. He was going hard. He was putting it all out there. He took his back. He was draining himself, trying to get this finish, trying to sub him. And he ended up blowing his load because of it. He ended up gassing out because of it. I say blowing your load a lot. Ugh. What is wrong with me? Ugh. And Nicholas Dalby, he can take advantage of that. He once he sees that you're kind of slowing down a bit, he picks it up 10 times as much. And then it's hard to keep up with him. Because he's just He's shooting in takedowns, pushing you up against the fence, kneeing you to the body. He'll break the clinch on his own terms. Then he's throwing, landing combinations on you. Back to the clinch, knees. Then once you're really tired, you don't expect it. He drops down, double leg, takes you down, works you on top. He's not being like passive and just sitting there on top. He's advancing positions. He's landing shots on you on top. He's an active fighter and he drowns people with his pace. And Rinat Fakhretdinov in his last fight against Dos Santos, he showed that he kind of gassed out in that first round. If he senses a finish, he rushes it. He will rush the finish. And his gas tank is now put in question, and I think Dalby's going to be able to take advantage of that gas tank. And I think Dalby is going to be able to beat Rinat Fakhretdinov. But yeah, those are my early picks, early thoughts on the card, early everything. Who knows? It is subject to change. This Dalby Fakhretdinov pick is not. Unless Dalby, like, apparently dies and gets staph infection, then I'd probably kill myself because I'd be like, oh no, Dalby. I'm a big Nicholas Dalby fan. I love Dalby. But yeah, these are my picks right now. Everything is subject to change, but yeah, these are my thoughts and picks on the card. Great card. Love it. Want to see more of it. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.